Hello dear students, so you know that we are studying Coulombs law, ठीक है ना बेटा. तो first of all we have discussed the Coulombs law, isn't it? ठीक है ना बेटा. तो कल हमने उस पर problems भी discuss की थी बेटा. So a few problems, perhaps 4 problems on that, ठीक है ना बेटा. So now we are discussing the problem number 5, ठीक है ना बेटा. Example number 5, okay. So concentrate on this. This question has been asked in the JEE Man 2018, and this question has been copy pasted from your textbook, ठीक है ना बेटा, from NCERT textbook. All right. Okay. तो यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. First of all, what is given is that there are 2 charged particles. हमारे पास कितने charged particles हैं बेटा? 2. Number 1 is charged particle A and charged particle B. Both are charged and having a charge of Q. ठीक है ना बेटा. तो इस पर हमारा charge है बेटा, इस पर charge है बेटा Q, and then the charge on this, that's also equal to Q. All right. So they repel each other by a force of F. It's given to us that they repel each other by a force of F. Okay. So let's first of all calculate the value of this F. बोलो बेटा ये F कितना होगा? Using Coulombs law, this F will be obviously equal to K multiplied by product of charges, which is equal to Q square divided by R square. ठीक है ना बेटा? तो पहले हमारे पास ये इक्वेशन है बेटा, that force, electrostatic force will be equal to K multiplied by product of charges, Q into Q is Q square divided by distance square. Distance क्या है बेटा? Distance इन दो के दरमियान है बेटा R, so it will be simply equal to R square. So force is equal to K Q square divided by R square. All right. The distance separation between these two is equal to Q. Okay. Then what is given? The question is like this. ठीक है ना बेटा. So I will write like this. The question is like this. जो third particle है ना बेटा, that is C. It is first of all uncharged, and all these 3 particles, that means particle A, particle B, and particle C, they are all 3 metallic structures. They are all 3 metallic structures. ठीक है ना बेटा. Now what is given is that the C is first attached to A. C is first attached to A, and then to B, and then C is attached to A. C is first attached to A, and then C is attached to B. ठीक है ना बेटा. C is first attached to A, and then C is attached to the B. So what will happen is that when the C is attached to the A, so obviously the charge transference will occur, and the charge will transfer from the greater charge to lesser charge till their charge will get balanced. ठीक है ना बेटा. And then the C is attached to the B, again there will occur charge transfer, ठीक है ना बेटा, so that the charge on the C and the B will be equal to the mean charge, ठीक है ना बेटा, mean charge of the C and B. Then next what you have to calculate is that finally when first of all C is attached to the A, then the C is attached to the B, and then C is taken away, ठीक है ना बेटा, then what will be the force between the A and B, okay, in terms of capital F. You are supposed to calculate the new force between A and B in terms of the old force, ठीक है ना बेटा. तो यहाँ आप ध्यान दीजिए बेटा, how we will do it, okay. So first of all, let's calculate the charge of the A. Let's first of all calculate charge of A, okay. So you concentrate here, यहाँ आप ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. So here we have this A and B and C, all right. Now इस पर charge क्या है बेटा? इस पर charge है Q. इस पर charge क्या है बेटा? That's equal to 0. So the charge when the A and C are touched, this mean charge on A and C will be equal to Q plus 0 divided by 2, which is equal to Q by 2. ठीक है ना बेटा? That's what I will write down here. So charge of the A will be simply equal to Q plus 0 divided by 2. तो क्या आएगा बेटा? That will be equal to Q by 2. ठीक है ना बेटा? Once they are touched, then the charge of the A will be equal to Q by 2. All right. Okay. अब यहाँ ध्यान रखिए बेटा. Now next I am going to calculate the charge of the B. यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. Okay. So here it is. Now what I will write down here is this. यहाँ ध्यान रखो बेटा आप. तो इस पर क्या आएगा बेटा charge. Now the new charge on this A will be equal to Q by 2. And what about the charge on the C? That will be also equal to Q by 2, isn't it? The charge on the C will be also equal to Q by 2. Now next what is done is that the C and B are attached to each other. When the C and B are attached to each other, so the charge will flow from B to C till their charges will become same. ठीक है ना बेटा? So what we are going to do is that we are going to calculate the charge of the B. All right? So यहाँ ध्यान रखिए बेटा आप. So let's try to calculate the value of the charge on the B. Let's calculate the charge of the B. So that will be equal to the charge of this C is equal to Q by 2. ठीक है ना बेटा? And the charge of the B, that's equal to Q divided by 2. ठीक है ना बेटा? So in the numerator there will be 3Q by 2. In the numerator 3Q by 2. Denominator में आएगा बेटा 2. So it will be simply equal to 3Q divided by 4. 2 2s are 4. So it will be equal to 3Q divided by 4. ठीक है ना बेटा? ठीक है ना बेटा? So it will be equal to 3Q divided by 4. So here I will write down it's equal to 3Q divided by 4. All right. So we are done with this. We have calculated what is the charge of the A. बोलो बेटा charge of A क्या होगा बेटा? Charge of A होगा बेटा Q divided by 2. ठीक है ना बेटा? बोलो बेटा चार्ज ऑफ B क्या होगा बेटा? That will be equal to 3Q divided by 4. ठीक है ना बेटा? Charge of A will be equal to Q by 2 and charge of B will be equal to 3Q by 4. All right. Next what I am going to do is that obviously I will calculate the force between the A and B. Now it is now the job is almost done. Job is almost done. यहाँ ध्यान रखिए बेटा आप. So let's calculate the new force that's equal to F dash. अब F dash किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा? again use the Coulombs law, it will be equal to k multiplied by q1 into q2 divided by r square, ठीक है ना बेटा, obviously. So it will be equal to k multiplied by product of charges, that is qa multiplied by qb divided by distance square. What is the distance? That is equal to r. तो यहाँ क्या लिखेंगे बेटा, r square, ठीक है ना बेटा. So f dash किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा, f dash आएगा बराबर k multiplied by qa. What is the qa? बोलो बेटा QA क्या होगा, that will be equal to Q divided by 2. बोलो बेटा QB क्या होगा, that's equal to 3Q divided by 4, ठीक है ना बेटा. What about the distance between them? That's equal to r square, ठीक है ना बेटा. So simply what you'll do is this, you'll multiply these two. So 3 1 is 3, 2 4 2 is 8, तो क्या आएगा बेटा 3 divided by 8, ठीक है ना बेटा. Multiplied by what? Multiplied by kq square divided by r square. अब बोलो बेटा ये kq square by r square किसके बराबर है बेटा, it's simply equal to f. तो बोलो बेटा f dash किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा, f dash will be equal to 3 divided by 8 multiplied by f, that is 8. The problem is done. The problem is done, ठीक है ना बेटा. So the answer will be equal to 3 by 8 multiplied by f, ठीक है ना बेटा. Again what you can do is that you can use the जुगाड़ as well and to do the problem in the lesser time, ठीक है ना बेटा. So like this it is. So I'm sure आपको अच्छी तरह से ये problem समझ में आई होगी बेटा. Simply what the problem was is that A and B are two charged particles, that is Q and Q is the force, so sorry, charge on one is Q, charge on another is Q, so the force will be obviously equal to कितना होगा बेटा force, kq square divided by r square, ठीक है ना बेटा. Then the C is a metallic sphere, it is first touched to A and then touched to B, ठीक है ना बेटा. First touched to A and then touched to B, and then what you are supposed to calculate is there the नया force क्या होगा between the A and B, ठीक है ना बेटा. तो सीधे सीधे इस पर कितना चार्ज आएगा बेटा, इस पर चार्ज आएगा बेटा q/2. अगर आपको क्विकली करना है बेटा, यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. सो इस पर चार्ज बिकॉज द चार्ज एंड दिस इज 0, इस पर कितना चार्ज है बेटा q, सो q plus 0/2 विल बी इक्वल q/2. तो इस पर चार्ज क्या आएगा बेटा, q/2. अब इस पर चार्ज क्या है बेटा, q/2 plus q. जरा ये निकालो बेटा, q/2 plus q किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा, 1/2 plus 1 is 3/2, ठीक है ना बेटा. तो जो इस पर नया चार्ज आएगा बेटा, सो दैट विल बी इक्वल टू 3q/2/2, सो दैट्स इक्वल टू 3q/4. किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा, 3q/4. अब नया फोर्स आपको निकालना है ना बेटा. सो सिंपली 4 2s are 8, 3 1s are 3, तो आंसर आएगा बेटा इसका सीधे सीधे 3 divided by 8 multiplied by f, that's it, ठीक है ना बेटा, ठीक है ना बेटा. So with no time you can solve this problem, okay, and it has been asked in the JEE Man 2018. I'm sure ये अच्छी तरह से आपको समझ में आई होगी बेटा. Okay, so let's switch to the another example, that's example number 6. Let's do the example number 6. यहाँ आप ध्यान रखिए बेटा, let's do the example number 6, okay. So here we'll be starting with the example number 6, okay. तो यहाँ ध्यान रखिए बेटा, और एक conceptual example है बेटा, example number 6. Example number 6, ठीक है ना बेटा. So here in this very example, in the example number 6, what I will be going to do is that we'll be using a concept here, ठीक है ना बेटा. एक circular motion का concept हम लगाएंगे बेटा, and this problem will later on be repeated in modern physics as well, ठीक है ना बेटा. In the modern physics this problem will be repeated again, okay. So the problem is like this, यहाँ आप ध्यान रखिए बेटा. The problem is simply like this, okay. There the particle, a charged particle which is moving in a circular path. All right, ठीक है ना बेटा. सेंटर पर एक पार्टिकल है बेटा. So for example here we have in the center there the particle whose charge is equal to q. All right, then here we have another particle, here we have another particle at this very point, this is the particle, ठीक है बेटा. इसका चार्ज है बेटा -q, इसका मास है बेटा small m, ठीक है ना बेटा. Minus small q and small m is the charge and the mass of this particle, okay. Then what's given to you is that radius of this circular path, it's also given to you, it's equal to r, it's equal to r, ठीक है ना बेटा. Now obviously there's force of attraction between this capital Q and small q because they are unlike charges, ठीक है ना बेटा. And that force of attraction will provide the necessary centripetal force, that will provide the necessary centripetal force, as a result of which what will happen is that this particle will move in a circular path, ठीक है ना बेटा. तो इस path में जाएगा बेटा, whose radius equal to r with some velocity which is equal to v, with some velocity which is equal to v naught VO is called as orbital velocity, VO is called orbital velocity. तो आपके पास क्वेश्चन है क्या बेटा. So the question is simply like this, calculate, what you are supposed to calculate is this, calculate a part orbital velocity, ठीक है ना बेटा. Calculate a part orbital velocity and the b part you are supposed to calculate the time period of the charged particle, ठीक है बेटा. So number 1 you had to calculate orbital velocity and number 2 is that you had to calculate the time period, ठीक है ना बेटा. Okay, तो आप ध्यान रखिए बेटा, फॉर एग्जांपल व्हेन एवर देयर इज अ पार्टिकल विच इज एक्सेलरेटिंग, ठीक है ना बेटा, एंड इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट हियर इज दैट एक्सेलरेशन डज नॉट मीन दैट द स्पीड ऑफ द पार्टिकल इज चेंजिंग, एक्सेलरेशन कैन मीन दैट द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द पार्टिकल इज चेंजिंग एज वेल, ठीक है ना बेटा. सो इन दिस वेरी केस, फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज अ पार्टिकल विच इज मूविंग इन अ सर्कुलर पाथ, if it is moving with a constant speed, it is still accelerating. The reason is that its direction is changing, ठीक है ना बेटा. So when the direction is changing, it means it's accelerating, and when it's accelerating, there must be a net force on the particle. There must be a net force on the particle, ठीक है ना बेटा. और जो ये फोर्स होता है बेटा, whenever the particle is moving in a circular path, ठीक है ना बेटा, ये इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है यहाँ पर बेटा. Whenever a particle is moving in a circular path, there must be a net force on the particle, and that net force must have a particular property, a special property, a very good property, a very special property. And what's that property is that the force must be perpendicular to the velocity, ठीक है ना बेटा. This force must be perpendicular to the velocity, okay. ठीक, and so that force is called centripetal force. Why that's called centripetal force? Because that will be directed towards the center of the circle. You know that the radius and the tangent, they are mutually perpendicular. Along tangent there will be velocity, along the radius there will be force, ठीक है ना बेटा. So they are mutually perpendicular. Point number one. Point number second जो important point है बेटा, that is like this, that centripetal force is not a new force. Centripetal force कोई नया force है ही नहीं बेटा. So those fundamental forces, anyone among the fundamental forces can provide the necessary centripetal force depending upon the situation. ठीक है ना बेटा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एट टाइम्स द ग्रेविटेशन फोर्स कैन प्रोवाइड द नेसेसरी सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स, एट टाइम्स द नॉर्मल रिएक्शन कैन प्रोवाइड द नेसेसरी सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स, एट टाइम्स द टेंशन स्ट्रिंग कैन प्रोवाइड द नेसेसरी सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स, एंड एट टाइम्स द इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स, एट टाइम्स द मैग्नेटोस्टैटिक फोर्स कैन प्रोवाइड द नेसेसरी सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स, ठीक है ना बेटा. तो यहाँ पर जो फोर्स है बेटा इस पार्टिकल पर, वो कौन सा फोर्स है बेटा, वो कौन सा फोर्स है, दैट इज लाइक दिस इन दिस डायरेक्शन, एंड दैट इज दिस इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स, एंड यू सी दैट दे आर म्यूचुअली परपेंडिकुलर, इजंट इट, ठीक है ना बेटा. कहीं पर भी आप देखिए बेटा, दे आर म्यूचुअली परपेंडिकुलर लाइक हियर. सो द इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स विल बी हियर डाउनवर्ड्स, and the velocity will be tangential, again they are mutually perpendicular. So this electrostatic force it satisfies that condition that the force must be perpendicular to velocity. Only then the particle can move in a circular path, ठीक है ना बेटा. circular motion में आपने ये पढ़ा होगा बेटा in the mechanics, ठीक है ना बेटा, in class 11th. Okay, now concentrate here. Now the mathematical equation I will write down here is simply what? The electrostatic force will provide the necessary centripetal force. So let me write it down here. यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. So what I will write down is this simply, this electrostatic force is going to provide the necessary centripetal force, FCP. CP implies centripetal force, ठीक है ना बेटा. अब electrostatic force है क्या बेटा यहाँ पर? That is 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, ठीक है ना बेटा, multiplied by product of charges. Right now the magnitudes only, capital Q, small q, divided by the distance square, that is equal to r square, which is the radius of the circular path, ठीक है ना बेटा. अब यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा, centripetal force किसके बराबर होता है बेटा? What is the equation for the centripetal force? You all know, I know that centripetal force होता है बेटा mv square divided by r, ठीक है ना बेटा. Okay, and here I will write on mv naught, where m is the mass of the particle, v naught is the orbital velocity, r is the radius of the circular path. All right, ठीक है ना बेटा. So what will cancel is this, r and r will cancel. We are in search of this orbital velocity. तो किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा? q, capital Q, small q divided by 4 pi, ठीक है ना बेटा, epsilon naught. Then here it's r and here it's m. So here it's m multiplied by r, ठीक है ना बेटा. So here it's orbital velocity का square, ठीक है बेटा. So here it's orbital velocity square. All right, then this is what I will write down. So finally we are here that this orbital velocity is finally equal this root of, बोलो बेटा किसके बराबर आएगा? कैपिटल Q स्मॉल q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, ठीक है ना बेटा, 4 pi epsilon naught multiplied by m multiplied by r. So this is your what? This is your orbital velocity, ठीक है ना बेटा, this is your orbital velocity. Okay, later on we'll be repeating this equation in modern physics, and there will be seeing that the electron is revolving around the nucleus of the hydrogen atom, ठीक है ना बेटा. तो वहां पर जो चार्ज होगा बेटा, चार्ज ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रॉन विल बी रिप्लेस्ड q by the e, and the charge of the hydrogen or hydrogen like atom will be this q, capital Q will be equal to z multiplied by e, while z will be the atomic number of the nucleus, ठीक है ना बेटा. तो यहां ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. So we are done with the orbital velocity, ठीक है बेटा. अब next निकालना क्या है बेटा? Next what you have to do is that, what you are in search of is that you have to calculate the b part here, that is the time period. Okay, so let's calculate here time period. यहां ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. So let's calculate the time period. B part is simply what? Time period. Okay, so then what is the definition of time period? ठीक है ना बेटा. here what happens is that there are only one force on the particle, and what's that force? बोलो बेटा वो कौन सा force है बेटा? Electrostatic force. We assume that it is in a gravity free space, or we assume that the electrostatic force is very strong force compared to the gravitational force, ठीक है ना बेटा? With the safe approximation, ठीक है ना बेटा? Okay, so what we'll be doing here is that when there's only one force, and that's electrostatic force, what the particle will be doing is that it will be moving in a circular path but with a constant speed. The reason is that there is no component of force along the tangential direction. The entire force is directed towards the center. It is along the radius. ठीक है ना बेटा? So the speed of the particle is not going to change. It's a uniform circular motion. It is an example of uniform circular motion. I'm talking about this. ठीक है ना बेटा? It is a uniform circular motion because this electrostatic force will be always perpendicular to speed or the velocity of the particle. What I will say here is that this electrostatic force is going to change the velocity of the particle, but it's not going to change the speed of the particle. The reason is that they are mutually perpendicular. अगर आपको यहाँ बोला जाएगा बेटा what is the work done by this electrostatic force, तो आंसर इसका होगा बेटा zero. आंसर होगा zero. Power delivered by electrostatic force, आंसर होगा बेटा zero. ठीक है ना बेटा? तो यहाँ आप ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. So next what we have to calculate is time period. So when we have to calculate time period, and when it's a uniform circular motion, simply what I will write down is this. Time period implies what? How we define time period? Bolo beta. How we define time period? Time period is defined as the time taken by the particle to complete one circle. ठीक है बेटा? And when the particle completes one circle, what is the distance covered by the particle is the circumference. ठीक है ना बेटा? Circumference divided by what is the speed of the particle. So here I will write that down. Circumference divided by speed. ठीक है ना बेटा? अब बोलो बेटा टाइम पीरियड किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा? बोलो बेटा सर्कमफ्रेंस किसके बराबर है? Obviously you all know it 2 pi r. ठीक है ना बेटा? If you don't know it, then go back to class 6. So circumference is simply what? That's called 2 pi r. Speed बोलो बेटा किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा? V naught, orbital velocity, and we have already calculated that. So here I am going to write it down. 2 pi r, ठीक है ना बेटा? Divided by orbital velocity. यहां ध्यान दीजिए बेटा, ऑर्बिटल वेलोसिटी किसके बराबर है बेटा? कैपिटल Q स्मॉल q डिवाइड बाय 4 pi epsilon naught mr. ठीक है ना बेटा? आई एम गोइंग टू सबस्टिट्यूट दिस इक्वेशन हियर. यहां आप ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. सो आई एम गोइंग टू सबस्टिट्यूट इट हियर. सो इट्स इक्वल टू रूट ऑफ व्हाट? कैपिटल Q स्मॉल q डिवाइडेड बाय 4 pi epsilon naught मल्टीप्लाइड बाय m मल्टीप्लाइड बाय r. ठीक है बेटा? then let me make this equation a bit more beautiful. So finally the equation will be like this. टाइम पीरियड किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा? 2 pi r. ठीक है ना बेटा? 2 pi r रूट ऑफ 4 pi epsilon naught. ठीक है बेटा? 4 pi epsilon naught multiplied by what? Multiplied by m into r divided by capital Q small q. ठीक है ना बेटा? Divided by capital Q small q. So this is time period. Okay, so again a beautiful equation. ठीक है ना बेटा? So in principle, are we really learning physics, or are we doing mathematics? ठीक है ना बेटा? So we are learning physics. ठीक है ना बेटा? अब जो ये particle है ना बेटा, charged particle, it does not know the language of the English. It only follows a mathematical equation. ठीक है ना बेटा? Why a charged particle moves in a circular path? The reason is that it has to follow a particular mathematical equation. That is why it is this mathematical equation. Or any mathematical equation, it says to the particle, hello Mr. Particle, you will have to follow the circular path. Why? The reason is that a simple mathematical equation. ठीक है ना बेटा? Suppose that you will fire a particle in the air. This particle will follow a parabolic path. Why the parabolic path? Why not any other particular path? The reason is that there is a particular equation, and that equation is the equation of parabola, and that equation says to this particle, hello Mr. Particle, you will have to follow this equation because I am saying it. ठीक है ना बेटा? So that's why. Okay. So finally we are ending with a more beautiful equation, and that's time period. Okay. So I'm sure you are getting this. ठीक है ना बेटा? आपको ये अच्छी तरह से ये प्रॉब्लम समझ में आई होगी बेटा. Electrostatic forces in between them will provide necessary centripetal force. mv square divided by r. Play with the simple mathematical equation. You are finally ending up with what? With the orbital velocity. All right. And then you are supposed to calculate time period. It is quite easy. ठीक है ना बेटा? टाइम पीरियड किसके बराबर है बेटा? सर्कमफ्रेंस डिवाइडेड बाय ऑर्बिटल वेलोसिटी. Substitute the value of orbital velocity. Make it a more beautiful equation than the time period. So we are done with both. What we are done with the orbital velocity. We are done with the time period. ठीक है ना बेटा? Okay, so we are done with the time period as well. Okay, so this was our question number 6. ठीक है ना बेटा? This was our question number 6. ठीक? Okay, great. Let's do one more problem. Okay. So let's do one more problem. यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. Question number 7. What we are trying to do is that we are learning Coulombs, the why are the problems. ठीक है ना बेटा? Why are the problems? Okay. So question number 7 is there. Okay. ओके सो अगेन जो ये बेटा क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 है ना बेटा, इसमें थोड़ा सा एनएलएम तो लगेगा बेटा, ठीक है ना बेटा, दैट्स व्हाई क्लास 11th इज हाईली इंपॉर्टेंट, ठीक है बेटा। नॉर्मली जो भी स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ आते हैं बेटा रेजोनेंस पे, जो भी स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं व्हेन दे एंटर इन द रेजोनेंस इन द क्लास 11th ऑन द वेरी फर्स्ट डे, उनके जहन में दो बड़े कंफ्यूजन होते हैं बेटा, दो बड़े कंफ्यूजन होते हैं। नंबर 1 कंफ्यूजन इज दैट द क्लास 11th इज नॉट दैट इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड नंबर 2 इज दैट सर वी वांट टू प्रिपेयर फॉर द नीट बट वी विल प्रिपेयर फॉर द नीट और द जेडब्ल्यू आफ्टर द क्लास 12th, दिस इज द बिगेस्ट मिसकॉन्सेप्शन, ठीक है ना बेटा। नंबर 1 इज दैट, सो आंसर टू द प्रॉब्लम नंबर फर्स्ट इज दैट क्लास 11th इज डबली इंपॉर्टेंट कंपेयर टू क्लास 12th, डबली इंपॉर्टेंट, मोर इंपॉर्टेंट कंपेयर टू क्लास 12th, ठीक है ना बेटा। नंबर सेकंड इज दैट if you want to crack the examination like NEET or JEE, don't you dare to think about the preparations after the class 12. You start your preparations right from the first day of the class 11, ठीक है ना बेटा। JEE and NEET उन्हीं का क्रैक हो जाता है बेटा जो पहले दिन से बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत लगाते हैं बेटा। It takes at least 3 or 4 years to crack the NEET examination or the JEE, at least, ठीक है ना बेटा। And which 3-4 years are those start from the class 11? Number 1 year is class 11, then number 2 is class 12, then there's one more class in the NEET and one more year in the NEET, ठीक है ना बेटा। So at least it takes at least 3 or 4 years to crack such an examination, ठीक है ना बेटा। Okay, now back to the problem, यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा। So example number 7 is simply like this, यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा। So here we have this rigid support, ठीक है ना बेटा, a rigid support, and then 2 particles are hanging from this rigid support like this. These are 2 particles, ठीक है ना बेटा। So this is particle number 1 and this is particle number 2, ठीक है ना बेटा। So 2 particles are hanging from this rigid support already, all right, okay। So this is simply what this is a thread and this is a thread। Now इसका जो mass है बेटा that's equal to m, इसका जो mass है बेटा that's equal to m and the charge of this that's equal to q, mass is m and the charge is equal to q, ठीक है बेटा, okay। So इसका जो मास है बेटा that's equal to m, यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा, and the charge of this particle that's equal to q, all right, and same here as well, इसका भी मास है बेटा m and the charge is equal to q, and these 2 particles they get separated by a distance which is equal to r, ठीक है ना बेटा, okay। So simply what is there is this, for example, this one particle, ठीक है ना बेटा, this another particle, okay। So they are like this, now both are charged, so they will go like this because of the force of repulsion, ठीक है ना बेटा, because of force of repulsion, okay। Now what you are supposed to do is this is the vertical line, so this angle is for example theta, ठीक है ना बेटा, and this angle is also equal to theta, clear to you, angle theta and angle theta, ठीक है बेटा, and this is string here। So here I will write down what you are supposed to calculate, calculate a part, the angle which the string makes with the vertical, that means you are supposed to calculate the value of this theta, ठीक है ना बेटा। And number 2 is that you are supposed to calculate the tension in the string, ठीक है ना बेटा। इस पर 2 एग्जांपल्स ऑलरेडी आई हैं बेटा इसी कॉन्सेप्ट पर, ठीक है ना बेटा। सो विल बी लर्निंग दिस, ओके, देन विल बी डूइंग दोस 2 एग्जांपल्स। एग्जांपल नंबर 1 इज परहैप्स आस्क्ड इन द NEET 2013, ठीक है ना बेटा, एंड दैट हैज बीन कॉपी पेस्टेड फ्रॉम IERODO, ठीक है बेटा, एंड देयर इज वन मोर एग्जांपल दैट हैज बीन आस्क्ड ऑन दिस, ठीक है ना बेटा। विल बी डूइंग दोस 2 एग्जांपल्स मोस्ट प्रोबेबली टुमारो, ठीक है ना बेटा। सो व्हाट वी आर सपोज्ड टू कैलकुलेट इज द वैल्यू थीटा and the tension in the string, ठीक है ना बेटा, okay। So actually what we do first of all what we'll be trying to do is that हमारे पास कितने पार्टिकल्स हैं बेटा, ऑब्वियसली 2 पार्टिकल्स, ठीक है ना बेटा। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट्स आइडेंटिफाई हाउ मेनी फोर्सेस आर देयर ऑन ईच पार्टिकल, कितने फोर्स हैं बेटा एक पार्टिकल पर, कितने फोर्स बेटा दूसरे पार्टिकल पर है, ठीक है ना बेटा। देन विल प्रोसीड अकॉर्डिंगली, ठीक है ना बेटा, ओके। सो यू सी हाउ मेनी फोर्स आर देयर ऑन दिस पार्टिकल, बोलो बेटा इस पार्टिकल और इस पार्टिकल पर कितने फोर्स हैं बेटा। ऑब्वियसली फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देयर इज इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स ऑफ रिपल्शन, इजंट इट, सपोज दैट इज इक्वल टू F, ठीक है ना बेटा। वो इस पार्टिकल पर भी होगा और इस पार्टिकल पर भी होगा, एंड दैट विल बी रिपल्सिव इन नेचर, ठीक है ना बेटा, दैट विल बी रिपल्सिव इन नेचर बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली व्हाट, बिकॉज the reason is that they are like charges, ठीक है ना बेटा। so number one point number 1 point number 2 is that there will be one more force, you know that's gravitational force or the weight of this particle which is equal to m multiplied by g, and that in the downward direction, obvious, ठीक है ना बेटा। and then there is one more force, and what's that's the tension in the string, ठीक है ना बेटा, tension in the string, and the tension string is always along the length of the string like this, always along the length of the string, ठीक है ना बेटा, okay। then one more thing here is this, so there are 3 forces on this particle, then one more thing is this, for example I will draw this vertical line, अगर बेटा ये एंगल थीटा होगा, so this angle will be also equal to theta, isn't it। तो ये एंगल थीटा है, why this angle is theta, the reason is vertically opposed, alternate angles, alternate interior angles. ठीक है ना बेटा? So I will make this what we call as free body diagram. What we call as free body diagram. So here I'll be constructing a free body diagram FBD for what? For one particle. ठीक है ना बेटा? So I'll be constructing a free body diagram for the one particle. So here we have this a particle. This is a particle. ठीक है ना बेटा? तो कितने फोर्स हैं बेटा इस पर? 3 फोर्स है बेटा. इस दिशा में mg. In the vertically downward direction there is mg. All right. In this direction there is one more force. What is that? Electrostatic force of repulsion. In this direction what is the force? That's equal to T. And what is this T? This T is the tension string. ठीक है ना बेटा? What I am going to do is that next what I will do is this. I'll resolve this T in the rectangular components. कौन सा बेटा? T. I will resolve the T in the rectangular components. From the class 11th you know that. For example this angle is theta. ठीक है बेटा? तो इसके कितने components होंगे बेटा? 2 rectangular components. कितने components? 2 rectangular components. अब ये एंगल थीटा है बेटा, सो ये कंपोनेंट आएगा बेटा क्या? T cos थीटा. और ये कंपोनेंट क्या आएगा बेटा? T sin थीटा. ठीक है ना बेटा? This component will be T cos theta and this component will be T sin theta. All right. Now how many forces are there on the particle? 3 forces. कौन सा force है बेटा? Tension string, electrostatic force and the weight. 3 forces are there. Okay. The next what you have to do is that you have to resolve the T in the rectangular components. So how many components are there? 2 components. T cos theta and T sin theta. Now there are 4 forces. कितने force हैं बेटा इस पर? 4 forces. T cos theta, T sin theta, F and mg. The T is replaced by its 2 components. All right. ठीक है ना बेटा? Now this particle is in equilibrium. What's it? It is in equilibrium. Equilibrium means that the net force on the particle कितना है बेटा? That's equal to 0. Yes, of course, that's equal to 0. जब net force बेटा 0 है ना बेटा, so it means that the ऊपर वाला force will be equal to नीचे वाला force. The force upwards will be equal to force downwards, and force towards right will be equal to force towards left. So let's equate those two equations. ठीक है ना बेटा? So here what I'm going to do is this. I will equate those two equations. So equation number first जो हमारे पास है बेटा, that's like this. T sin theta किसके बराबर है बेटा? That's equal to electrostatic force which is equal to F. And then there's one more equation. What is that? That's T cos theta. किसके बराबर है बेटा? That will be equal to mg. ठीक है ना बेटा? This particle will be at rest. This particle will be at rest only if this upward force will be equal to downward force and force towards right is equal to force towards left. Only then. ठीक है ना बेटा? So T sin theta किसके बराबर है बेटा? F के बराबर. T cos theta किसके बराबर है बेटा? mg के बराबर. ठीक है ना बेटा? So let's solve it here. But I will rewrite these two equations. So T sin theta किसके बराबर है बेटा? That's equal to F. So let me label this as equation number first. And then wait a moment. I'll write them here. यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. So one equation what we have is this. T sin theta किसके बराबर है बेटा? T sin theta it is equal to F. ठीक है ना बेटा? Then T cos theta बोलो बेटा किसके बराबर है बेटा? That's equal to M multiplied by G. ठीक है ना बेटा? This is our equation number first. And this is our equation number second. I am sure यहाँ तक अच्छी तरह से आपको समझ में आया होगा. First of all, construct 3 body diagram. 3 forces are there. Out of the 3, what I am going to do is that I am going to resolve one force into 2 components. Then simply the net force equal to 0. So force upwards will be equal to force downwards. Force towards right will be equal to force towards left. So we have these two equations, these two beautiful equations. ठीक है ना बेटा? Now हमें निकालना क्या बेटा? अब what we are supposed to calculate? We are supposed to calculate number 1 theta. And number second, we are supposed to calculate the tension of the string. ठीक है ना बेटा? So let's go for the part A. I'm in search of part A. And what is that part A? The angle between the string and the vertical. ठीक है ना बेटा? The angle which the string makes with the vertical. All right. So for that, what I will do is this. Equation number first. Let me divide these two equations. Equation number first divided by equation number second. Why I am doing these two? Why I am dividing these two equations? Why I am dividing these two equations? The reason that I want to get rid of tension in the string. ठीक है ना बेटा? I want to get rid of the tension in the string. तो बनेगा क्या बेटा? So here it will be like this. T sin theta divided by T cos theta. ठीक है ना बेटा? T sin theta divided by T cos theta will be equal to, on RHS what will be there is F divided by mg. ठीक है बेटा? F divided by mg. Okay, so this T and T will cancel. Sin theta by cos theta किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा? Sin theta by cos theta will be equal to tan theta. Okay, so let me write down here. It will be equal to tan theta. अब ये tan theta किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा? Electrostatic force divided by mg. ठीक है बेटा? Electrostatic force divided by mg. Or finally what I can write is this tan theta will be equal to electrostatic force can be replaced by this k multiplied by q square divided by, ठीक है ना बेटा, mg in the denominator and also r square in the denominator. Then if you are in search of theta will be obviously equal to what? It will be equal to tan inverse of what? Tan inverse of all this kq square divided by m multiplied by g multiplied by r square. ठीक है ना बेटा? And the next what you can do is that you can replace this k by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, ठीक है ना बेटा. So I'm sure ये रिजल्ट आपको अच्छी तरह से समझ में आया होगा बेटा. Okay, so let me highlight this result for you, ठीक है ना बेटा. Theta is equal to tan inverse of all this. Okay, then the B part. So finally let's finish it off. यहाँ ध्यान दीजिए बेटा. So what is B part? B part is that you are in search of tension in the string, ठीक है ना बेटा. So for that what I will do is this, first square, equation number first square plus second square, ठीक है ना बेटा. Okay, so what I will do is that I will square the first equation on both sides, I'll square the second equation on both sides, and then I will add them. So what I will get is this. First of all I will write like this, t sin theta का square आएगा बेटा t square sin square theta, ठीक है ना बेटा, plus then t cos theta उसका square आएगा बेटा t square cos square theta. All right, अब ये t sin theta किसके बराबर है बेटा? It was equal to f, so here I will write on f square. So here I will write down f square, ठीक है ना बेटा. So here it is f square plus t cos theta किसके बराबर है बेटा? That's equal to mg. So here I will write down mg square, ठीक है ना बेटा. Okay, now from these two terms यहाँ common क्या आएगा बेटा? यहाँ common आएगा बेटा t square multiplied by what? Multiplied by sin square theta, ठीक है बेटा, plus then we have cos square theta, ठीक है ना बेटा. Then it's equal to what? It is equal to f square plus what? Plus it will be equal to mg here square, ठीक है बेटा. Then you know that sin square theta plus cos square theta किसके बराबर आएगा बेटा? 1 के बराबर. That was the reason that I squared the two equations and then added them, so that I can get rid of this theta. This theta will disappear from the equation, ठीक है ना बेटा. So finally here we are t square अब किसके बराबर है बेटा? t square is equal to f square plus m multiplied by g whole square, ठीक है ना बेटा. And finally we are in search of t, so t finally is equal to root of f square plus mg whole square, ठीक है ना बेटा. And then one more step you can do. What you can do is that you can replace this f by q square divided by r square, ठीक है ना बेटा. Okay, I leave that to you so that you can do that step yourself, ठीक है ना बेटा. So we are done with this as well. So finally we have calculated the tension string. All right, ठीक है ना बेटा. Okay, so highly important problem, ठीक है बेटा. This one highly important problem. Okay, so do practice this at your home, ठीक है ना बेटा. This was question number 7. So perhaps we are discussing some question number 5, 6 and 7, some standard problems here, ठीक है ना बेटा. So tomorrow what we'll be doing is that we'll be discussing some problems from the DVP sheets, ठीक है ना बेटा. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be done with the Coulombs law. इसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट टॉपिक है बेटा, छोटे छोटे से 2 टॉपिक्स हैं बेटा. नंबर 1 इज दैट व्हाट आर द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्स. उसमें कुछ खास नहीं है बेटा, खास मैथमेटिक्स नहीं है. एंड द नेक्स्ट इज दैट द कूलम्स लॉ इन द वेक्टर फॉर्म, ठीक है बेटा. एंड द नेक्स्ट विल स्विच द सुपरपोजिशन प्रिंसिपल. ओके, बट डियर स्टूडेंट्स, सो ज्वाइन अस ऑनलाइन, ठीक है बेटा. जो भी लेक्चर्स हम ऑफलाइन देते हैं बेटा रेजोनेंस के अंदर, सो विल बी रिपीटिंग दोज लेक्चर्स इन द ऑनलाइन एज वेल, so that you can get the maximum benefit out of the team resonance, ठीक है ना बेटा. So best of luck.